Welcome back to my channel. So today I am here to give you my BookTube Newbie Tag and answer a list of questions that will introduce myself to you and you to my channel. This is kind of different for me, not as far as reading, because reading has always been something that I loved and enjoyed, but more so just the type of content that I produce. So I'm going to go ahead and answer a few questions for you guys to just kind of let you get to know me. So the first question that we have here is, why did you start your channel? Okay, so I started the BookTube channel because reading was something that it's something that has just become very therapeutic for me. And even though I have a busy life and schedule, being a mom, a wife, and the kids and things like that, I try to read every second of the day, whether I'm in the carpool line, whether I'm just out and about and I'm running errands and I get a quick break. I just try to incorporate reading into my daily schedule because I love a good story. I find myself sometimes just reading things online or reading ads. I am definitely that link clicker that the person that likes to click links to just go read stories, whether it's something that has happened, whether it's something in the news and politics, or a good book, anything. And I've just found myself watching a lot of BookTube lately. So I'm super excited to get started. I just wanted to share this channel and this portion of my channel with others who may be considering, getting into books. They may have not read in the past. They may not even know where to begin with reading, but I would definitely like to share some good book recommendations that are more so popular and then some that I have not heard people talk about. So I just want to bring books and reading to the forefront for people who just want to, experience a new hobby and get into something new. I've introduced it to my children. They absolutely love it. They love going book shopping. And I was like, you know what? Why not just create a channel? I'm sorry, not a channel, a segment on my channel for BookTube content. And me watching a lot of BookTube, I literally watch it all day. It is so exciting. It is so fun. And I get so many great ideas from it. What are some unique things that you bring to YouTube? That is a good question. Not to try to compete with any other booktubers, but I think something unique that I would bring to the channel is more than just book content and more than just sitting there talking about the book or rating the book, which is great. It is absolutely beautiful. But I also get a chance to share other content in the mix of that, whether it's just like my daily routine with the kids, like I said, or my wife duties. I want to show how I balance life and reading. I want to make other content as well, because I do make other content, recipe, cooking content, business content for my business, just everyday vlogs as a mom and things like that. So I think something unique that I bring to the channel is diversity. That would be the biggest thing, which there are a lot of other YouTubers that bring a lot of diversity to their channel also, but I think diversity brings out more of who you are individually, and you don't have to necessarily be like the other booktubers. You can just be yourself and share the things that you like to do. We like arts and crafts, we like traveling, we like so many different things. So that is definitely something I'm excited about. What are you most excited about for your channel? I'm most excited about just bonding and making new friends, meeting new people, getting to share new experiences, not only with my family, but with you guys too. So making new experiences and memories, that is the thing that I'm most excited about for this channel, because again, it's just exciting just getting to read new stories, whether they're real stories or fiction stories, just that feeling of just getting to your mind to travel into a different space and then being able to come back into reality and share that story with other people. That's great. Why do you love reading? I love reading because I love, again, like I just stated, getting into a new space mentally. Sometimes I think we get so consumed with our day-to-day lives and things that we experience in reality. And sometimes we just want to mind travel to somewhere different, whether it's a romance or whether it's fantasy or whether it's a mystery thriller. It feels like you get to put yourself in different places and not be so confined to just where you are. Like, you may have had a long work day or a long, business day or something like that. And when you get a chance to just sit there and read and enjoy a good book, you're able to just be put, not physically, but mentally, into a different world. Like, imagine having a long day with your kids and husband, and you can come home and mentally travel to a place with dragons, or a place with vampires, or a place where it's fall but it may be summer where you realistically are. You know, it's just cool. I think it's just very cool. What book or series got you into reading? So this is going to tie in with the question, when did you start reading? Okay, so I remember starting to read in middle school. I think it was middle school or high school. I believe it was middle school. But there was this book going around called Miss Thang. And I think I remember it being an orange book and it being about 3 girls in high school and their, I don't know, trials throughout the high school. I cannot remember, but I do remember the book going around middle school, and it was only a few copies. I think they sold it at the book fair. I'm not sure. I tried to Google this book and I cannot find it, but it was called Miss Thang, and it had not so much spice, but just like a little spice between high school students. And imagine a 7th or a 6th grader reading that. They're very intrigued, even though they have no business reading it. But it was going around school, and we were sharing the book. And as we were sharing the book, I finally got the copy of it, and my friend did too, and I read it, and I was in love with it. I could not put the book down. And I also remember my grandma taking us on field trips where she would pack snacks up and our water bottles and take us to the library in downtown Atlanta. And we would just pick out books, and we would read books, and my grandmother would read books. And I just loved it. So I feel like that book, Miss Thang, got me, and I would love to add it to my reread list if I can find it, but I cannot find it anywhere. I don't know where that book is, and that was literally in like 2007 or 2008. I'm not sure. I cannot remember that far back, but I wish I can find that book. I can't find that book. So that's when did I start reading, which was middle school, and what got me into reading was the book Miss Thang. If you can find that book, please leave it down in the comments and let me know where I can find that book, Miss Thang. Like I said, I don't remember if it's orange, but I think so. I'm not sure it's. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Okay, so I was excited about this question because I have my top 3 booktubers that I absolutely love to watch, and I watch them consistently every day, and that is Kyra Stewart, Kalila D, and Shaughnessy. If I'm not saying that name right, please let me know if I'm not saying the name right. But those are my top 3 booktubers that I absolutely love. And honestly, if I were to be able to interview or speak with them, my question to them would probably be, what are some of your favorite must-read books? Because even though I don't officially know them yet, I definitely trust their opinions, and they are my go-to channel to find new book recommendations. And I try not to do that all the time because some people would like things that others don't, and sometimes you just want to pick books for yourself. You don't want to get a list or have a shelf full of all the top books just because they're popular. You want to have books that you enjoy. There's one book I got from a dollar store because the back seemed really good. I have not read it yet, but I'll definitely be leaving a review about that one. But yes, I will ask them what are their go-to must-read books, and then I will also ask them what got them into reading, because I just want to I want to learn about other people. I definitely want to learn about people and like what got them into the hobbies that I love, to see if just kind of like I resonate with that, or if it's something similar that relates to me as well. So those are just a couple questions. I'm probably sure I would have 100,000 questions for them if I met them in real life. What challenges do you think starting a BookTube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I think one thing that would be an obstacle is me maturing in the reading terminology, because I may not know any and every word or phrase or term to review a book properly. And I know there's a lot of readers who can do that very well. Like I feel like Kalila D is the perfect person to me, the perfect person to just like review a book, because the way that she just enunciates and like verbally describes the book to a T, before you would think she read it before or after. And I think that is just so amazing. I wouldn't say that there's a lot of big obstacles I think that I would have to overcome, because I think it's just a fun place for us all to come and talk about the things that we love and talk about the stories we've read. So I don't think there should be any obstacles for anyone, because we're all just here to have a good time. I'm here to have a good time. I know you guys are here to have a good time, and we're just all here to, you know, become friends, and y'all are gonna be my besties. So and the last question would be, what kind of books do you like to read? So honestly, I'm a romance girl. I love a good romance book, but as I've gotten back into reading, I have tried so many new things lately, like fantasy. One book that I did start and I'm not finished with yet is the Akatar series. So A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I'm really enjoying that book. I hear so many great things about the Harry Potter series, which I've always watched but never read the actual books, which I heard are better. So even though I am a very much romance girl, because I think I like to call myself a romance reader because I am a hopeless romantic. I love a good love story. I love a good enemies to lovers story. I love a good close proximity love story. I just love a good romance. I'm a lover girl. But as I experience more genres like fantasy and thrillers too, I've learned that I like thrillers because I read a couple of thrillers recently and I really enjoyed them. They kept me on the edge of my seat and it kept me there wanting to sit there and read it in one read, even though I couldn't finish it because of my schedule. But I would say romance are my favorite. Fantasy is something that I'm slowly but surely getting into and I enjoy it so far. Historical fiction is something that I have not read before and I'm not sure that I would like, but apparently there are some good books to get into historical fiction that I am super excited about going out to look for and to get into that genre. You know, it just was never on my top list to kind of go and look for, but hey, I'm excited to get into it all, so that's all. But yeah, so that was the last question. I know a lot of people are having their own adding their own questions to these BookTube Newbie Tag questions. Where I shop for books could be a good question. Somewhere I like to go for books is, of course, everybody loves Barnes & Noble, but I actually just found this new boutique, beautiful bookstore where I live, and it's called, I think it's called Little Professor. I'm not sure if they have those outside of where I live here in Alabama, but I love it. And it's right across like from the great restaurants and things like that. So if you ever just want to grab a coffee, go book shopping, have you some lunch with a friend or by yourself, it's like the perfect place to go. And I absolutely love it. So that's somewhere I like to shop for books. I also like to thrift for books because even though they don't necessarily where I live have a lot of good options, maybe they're just not newer books, but I have found some great options at the thrift store where I live. I have a few books. Blood Orange and What's Mine Is Yours is a really good book. Well, it's not a really good book. I don't know if it's a really good book because I haven't read it yet, but I got those from the thrift store, but they are a thriller. One is a psychological thriller, I think. One is a mystery thriller, and I predict that they're going to be really good books. So one other question that I would like to add is, what is my current read now? So this is what I'm currently reading now, which is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I am enjoying this book. I am enjoying learning about Miss Hugo because one thing about Miss Hugo, she is feisty, but she just has a lot of good, an amazing outlook on life to a certain extent. Some things I don't necessarily agree with, but some things I definitely do. And I'm really enjoying this book. I'm only on page 97, so I'm only about 25% done with this book, but I'm enjoying it so far. Another question, what book has been my favorite book that I've read this year so far? And I know this is going to sound so cliche or consistent with a lot of people, but honestly, The Love Hypothesis by Ellie Hazelwood. I loved it. It was just such a quirky, giggly love story. It was so corny, but I love it. And I love how she incorporated, you know, the medical field into her. If anybody knows me, they know I'm like a Grey's Anatomy fan and things like that. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But I know as the year ends, I'm probably going to have another #1, possibly, you know, because I'm really loving this book. Another question would be, what is my Goodreads goal, reading challenge goal for the year? Mine was 50 books. Currently, I'm 37 books behind. That sounds horrible, but I plan to actually surpass that goal before the end of the year because I've buckled down. The first part of the year, we were like traveling and doing these different things. And, you know, going out with the kids to Disney World, to the beach, or SeaWorld. And me and my husband going to the beach and just playing golf and things like that. But through the holidays, my goal is to get on it. I plan on doing the 24-hour reading challenges. I plan on just taking all this content and just turning it into something beautiful. And I'm extremely excited. I can't wait. Another question I added was, what are some books that I am excited to get or read. So there's this Christmas book that Kalila D was talking about on her page, and I think it's called Christmas Witch. I've been trying to look for that book. I don't know if I'm typing in the name wrong or what I'm doing wrong to not be able to find that book, but I have to get that book. I'm excited to get that book. I am super excited to read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame because I hear nothing but great things about that book. Some books that I am excited to get that I have not purchased yet are Funny Story by Emily Henry and Happy Place by Emily Henry. And then there are some additional YA books that I'm extremely excited to get, like the Caraval series. Options. Oh, do you guys like my iPad? That's going to be another question I get into. So these are 3 books that I'm excited to read too. This one mainly because I hear so many. This is When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I hear so many mixed reviews about this book. You know, some people say they hate it, some people say they love it. So it's like a love-hate thing. And I just wanted, this is one of those books that I want to read and get to know for myself. I want to get my own opinion and my own outlook on the book. And then this is the book by Maya Angelou, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. I absolutely love. I don't know what these kind of pages are called, but they are so beautiful. They're like letters from the 20s or something. But I absolutely love Maya Angelou. I remember in elementary school having to recite a poem by Maya Angelou for our ceremony or graduation. I'm not sure, but I love it. Phenomenal Woman is my favorite, absolute favorite poem by Maya Angelou. So I'm super excited to read this book. Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. This is definitely on my must-read list because I've heard nothing but great things about it from friends who are readers also, and from BookTube as well. So I'm super excited to read this book. And last but not least, what do I use to read? So of course I love a good physical book. I love a good coffee and lunch date, going to get coffee, going to Barnes, or we also have this store, I forgot to mention that in places I like to buy books. We have this store called Second and Charles. And in Second and Charles, it's a bookstore, but they also have like anime and video games and apparel for readers, like an entertainment store, an entertainment bookstore. They have a lot more than just books. I love that store. Other than the physical book, I have my iPad, which I have the Kindle app, the Audible app, so I like to listen to the books also on Audible or audiobooks.com. So yes, I have that. My iPad, I don't really read much on my MacBook, but I do a lot of my Notion updates and my Goodreads updates on my MacBook. And as you can see, I love stickers. And I don't have a Kindle. A Kindle is something else that I want to get also. I feel like I don't really need the Kindle because I have the iPad and I have the Kindle app on my iPad. So I get to take this with me, and I like to read whether I'm in the carpool line, just everywhere. So it's easier to just take this with me. I also found that a lot of the times when I physically take my books with me, I always damage them or mess them up. I don't know how that happens. It's probably from putting them in my bag. Speaking of my bag, let me show you guys. This is my little bag that I bought from, I made it. Actually, I got it from Hobby Lobby, and I took the straps off and added this strap to it and some collector pins, and I'll just eventually put more on there. But I have these cute little pins. So this is where I like to put my iPad and my MacBook and my books in and take them with me. This is probably why my books always get messed up. But yeah, I like to take that with me. Also, outside of my iPad, when I read at nighttime in the dark and everyone is like gone to bed, I have this reading light that I love. And I got this from Second and Charles too. So this allows me to read my books. No, I did not just break that. But it allows me to read in the dark. So yes, these are just things that I love. These are, okay, so this can fall into that. What are my reader accessories or favorite reader girl items that I have, that I possess? Physical books. These are my bookshelves here. This is my husband's side of the bookshelf. These are the kids' side of the bookshelf, and this is mine. It's slowly but surely getting filled, and then we have some more over here as well, but this is a shorter shelf, so it's easy to fill this, and now we're working on this. And these are some of the books on my TBR. My TBR is getting up there, not quite as much as a lot of people that I've seen on YouTube, But it's gonna be up there pretty soon because I shop for books literally like every other day. And I love it. I enjoy it. It is a self-care time for me. It is definitely a self-care time. Reading is just therapeutic. That's the only word I can use to describe it. It is therapeutic. It is fun. And I find myself giggling at my books or like, oh my God. And one thing I can say is my kids love to hear about the stories I'm reading. So like Freedom McFadden, they weren't able to read it because of, I'm not able to give the book to them. It's a bigger book and they're in the fourth and the second grade, which they can read, but also certain things they can't read, like profanity and, the spice scenes and stuff like that. But they were super excited to know about the book. So every time I got to a certain point in the book, they would say, okay, so what's happening now? What's going on? And I would tell that to them and they were enjoying it. So when the book was over, they were just like jaws dropped as if they read the book themselves. And I was like, yes, to my daughter, I was like, yes, girl. She was like, can we go get the second one? And so now we're going to read the second one and I'm going to keep them posted on that. But yes, I don't want to do too much rambling. I just want to make sure I get the newbie tag out there. So I thank you guys for tuning in. I just want to say that we are on a great journey together. And please check out some more of my content as well. Just everyday, day-to-day content. Food, family. I'm super excited for this channel. I know that I'm going to love it. I know that you guys are going to love it too. Okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. I thank you guys for tuning in and I was super excited to share more content and more books with you. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when I upload the next video, and I will see you next time.